All right, guys, welcome back to episode 4 of Whiskey Sports. Here with my man, Rhett.
What's up?
How did we do last week?
NCAA, I had a great weekend. What about you?
I won more than I lost, but when I lost big, so not good.
Not good. Yeah. No, it was a solid weekend. We did for both college and pro though. We did eat a little bit of our words, and I'll go over that as well. But the first we had was SMU plus 10. I think we both took that, and we ate that hard. Cincinnati came out, looked great, looked like the team they were supposed to be all year long. And yes, SMU has some bad losses against Memphis and a couple other teams this year, but they're still a solid team and they can score the football. Cincinnati's defense is awesome. They can really play.
I don't think SMU is focused. I think is it Danny Stikes? I think their coach is going to TCU. What?
Sonny Dykes.
Sonny Dykes. Yeah, he's going to TCU. I don't think they were really. So. I didn't think they had. I don't think he had him playing.
I still think it was a statement game. Obviously, it's SMU, but I still think that's a statement game because everybody. I think most of the people I talked to was even thinking SMU plus 10 just because of the past few weeks. Cincinnati just hasn't looked very good.
They haven't covered.
Dylan Ritter looked like his last year's self. He came out. He was dominant. Their defense was dominant. So they're going to make the playoff. I think either way, unless somehow someone sneaks in. Do I think they can make some noise? No. Because they're going to get game one. Probably they'll get Georgia.
Oh, yeah.
Like, come on.
Well, they only lost, 2 last year, but I think half of Georgia's team didn't play. So.
Yeah, Georgia sat a lot of starters that game. So ate my words there because they came out and dominated that game. We both had Ohio State minus 19. Easy money. Easy cover.
Michigan State just got exposed. I mean.
Yeah, they're just an overrated team is all you can say.
They had to put them. They had to put them there, just like the Wake Forest and ACC. They try to put all these teams up in the top 10 to make it look good, but in reality, when they start playing the good teams, and it's just not going to look good. I mean, from the get-go, from the jump.
There's nothing much to say about that. 2 weeks ago, Ohio State, their offense got with it. They looked awesome. They just kept it going yesterday. In my opinion, I know you probably say Bama, but they're the biggest threat to Georgia, no doubt in my mind.
No question.
The way their offense is playing right now, their defense is stepping up, and they have big-time threats on the outside down the field. And if there's anything that can beat Georgia, it's threats down the field. I think they're
correct.
Their corners and their safety, they're pretty good, but they can get beat. Okay. The only reason they've been so solid this year is because their front seven is so good. They get so much pressure on the quarterback and they don't have any time. Yep. And Ohio State's line is pretty darn good. So easy cover. I mean, it was 49-0, it seemed, in the first half or something, I think. So
it was 21-0, I think, in 5 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, it was quick.
Also, I think Alabama is good. Yeah. Obviously, it's Alabama. But I don't think this is – I think it's by far the worst Alabama team that we've seen in Alabama's Nick Saban's little history. Except, not the first season, but I just don't think they're that great. Bryce Young's good. They have a good – Mechie and a couple wide receivers. Is it some Jalen Williams or number one? Yeah. He's really good, but I don't think defensively at all they're anywhere close to what they normally are. Defensively, they are miserable. I know Auburn had a chance for a second. I think we have more chance of Bose there. I know that sucks to say, but they're going to blow us out this weekend. But I think Ohio State's number 2 team in the nation right now, no question.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there should be any doubt. I mean, Ohio State.
Maybe Ohio State, Alabama.
They look great. I mean, they really do. The next game was the Wolves. Easy cash, easy money. Covered easy, minus 15 against Michigan. I think I said I would buy the point in that game, minus 14. Didn't even need it. I mean, they just came out, looked really good, dominated.
They've dominated them in the past 7 years, I believe.
Maryland's they're not very good at all. They just really aren't. Last video I mentioned Talia being a bright spot. I mean, he didn't play that bad, I guess, but Michigan dominated that game as you expected him to. Next game, Minnesota minus 7. That was really my lock of the week. I even on stream I said Indiana's just terrible, and Minnesota had been playing much better. And it was pretty. I mean, they did very first drive, they went down the field, went for it on fourth. I watched the game, went for it on fourth at the 10, missed it. Indiana goes right down the field and scores a touchdown. I was like, oh gosh, here we go. And then they rattled off like 28 straight. So Indiana's just really bad. I honestly am surprised the line was 7.
Do you know who the quarterback was for Indiana?
A freshman.
So the third string. So
yeah,
1 and 2 were still out. Yeah.
Yeah, he did not look very good. He could run the football a little bit, but he could not throw it.
Yeah.
Next was Wake Forest. I wish we had video clips of us saying,
it
was the value pick. I'm not even mad. They ended up getting blown out by Clemson. I'm not even really mad about losing it because the value was there. It was plus 170 money line.
Yeah.
Clemson had looked bad all year. Did they get it together? I still don't think they're a very good team. Wake Forest's defense is just really bad. They can't stop anybody.
The quarterback had a couple bad turnovers. I mean, and they just took advantage of it at home.
It's Wake Forest. I mean, we bet on Wake Forest. What do we expect? I still believe Sam is a really good quarterback, but he did have some mistakes in that game because Venables is a really good defensive coordinator.
Oh, he is. Yeah, he's really good.
He can really scheme up ways to make the quarterback confused. So I bet we lost, and we really thought we were confident in it because Clemson has been so bad this year. But I bet I'm not
all year.
Yeah. I mean, we saw it against North Carolina. Wake Forest can't stop anybody.
No.
But so I'm sure I didn't look at the rankings, but I'm sure that knocked them back pretty. I mean, it should have knocked them back far, but
they should be in the top 25. Let's be real, but
the committee's going to place them there because it, I don't know, helps Clemson get a better bowl. Maybe how that goes. Next game, Wisconsin minus 10. We both had that again, but we also paid our respects to Nebraska. Like, God, it would suck to be a Nebraska fan right now because they have so many heartbreakers. They keep coming close. And Wisconsin was playing really, really, really good. So for Nebraska to come in there,
they're on fire right now
in Madison and just battle until the end. I mean, they were tied 21-21 late, and Wisconsin ran a touchdown. Their running back's really good. But yeah, we missed on that one, but
I'm assuming that they're going to be in the Big Ten championship, right? In the West, are they the West? I know they're away.
They're in the Big Ten
from Ohio State and Michigan.
Yeah. They're all in the Big Ten East.
Michigan. That Big Ten championship can break a lot of dreams because if Ohio State goes out and beats Michigan, they're gonna have a pretty tough Big Ten championship. They're gonna have 2 back-to-back tough games, and then you got to play Alabama.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll see how good they are.
I mean, we know how good Ohio State is. They're a solid team. I mean, there's nothing you can say. They're a really, really good team, as much as you probably hate to say that.
They're the second best team in the Big Ten, but we're gonna see what happens this weekend.
But yeah, big on that. Nebraska, I feel like they're gonna break through with a win at some point. I know it's almost the end of the season, but I think they may have. Who do they have this week?
I don't.
It might have been like
Iowa.
That could be their first. That could be their breakthrough.
Line's only 1.5 Iowa.
Yeah, I mean, that could be their breakthrough. I mean, they've been right there, and I still don't, and I say it every time, I still don't really believe in Adrian Martinez. Still, he's a solid player, but he's been there so long, it's like he should be solid. I mean, he's played so many offensive snaps in college football, so maybe this is the time that they break through. I guess we'll talk about that game a little later.
Did you see the Nebraska fan that died?
No.
So there's a Nebraska fan that died, and instead for asking for flowers, he said this weekend he wants every single person to bet on Nebraska.
Well, heck, I might. I think they may finally break through.
Let me read it to you. I got it right here. I wanted to say this today. All right. Former Hastings, Nebraska resident Milton Andrew Munson Jr., 73, passed away Tuesday, November 16th in Grand Island. Memorial service will be 1 p.m. Instead of flowers, please place an irresponsibly large wager on Nebraska beating Iowa. That was his wish.
Okay. I may follow up on that wish. Hey, that's my guy's last dying wish. I may help him out a little bit.
We all may have to ride Nebraska right there.
I mean, just think, they may have some juju going on now. They've been playing really good, and now they have RIP passed away on their side. Who knows? The next game you're gonna really hate. Let's go Gamecocks, man. Oh my gosh. I had South Carolina plus 7.5 because one,
Did you
they
bet
even
that?
no.
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
yes, I had it in like a teaser.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
ended up
okay.
looking at the teaser. But I wasn't, I mean, I thought that they would cover that, but I wasn't confident enough to place a straight bet on it.
Yeah.
But South Carolina plus 7.5. It was, like I said, it wasn't full. The stadium wasn't full, but they brought energy. It was a pretty good atmosphere at night. And like I said, I just didn't trust TJ, and I went with my gut and said plus 7.5.
Well,
But
let's so TJ didn't play bad.
he
For him,
didn't.
he did not play bad at all. Defense didn't look bad. I think they had under 300 yards. You know, I think, and it's crazy to say this. I think we just got out coached. I think so. When you have Tank Bigsby, one of the best running backs, you could arguably say in the country, he is. I think he was 22 carries for 164 yards. It was like 7.5 per carry, and he's getting 4 touches in the third quarter and 2 touches in the fourth. What It just doesn't make sense to me. And you got 3rd and 11 and you're running a screen. What are we doing? Let's throw the
That
ball
just comes
down
with
the field.
trust.
And,
The
and
third and 11
I
running the
understand
screen
losing the
trust comes
time.
with trust. They don't trust TJ. They were planning not to lose. They didn't want him to, commit a turnover or do something like that, which is never the way to play.
And then it's 4th and 1 on our own 35. And we
I
try to
texted
throw a
them. I was like,
ball
why would you go for it?
triple coverage. No, listen, I'm okay for going for it.
Never.
Let's make a better call. Let's run on 4th and 1.
You're up 7. You're up 7. You're in a tough
Correct.
environment. You're more than likely not going to get it, and you're on your own 35.
But I'm not upset with it. That's just
Don't
way,
go
but I'm not
for it.
upset with going with it. Run the football.
I'd be upset. It's a
Run the
terrible
football.
call.
If we run the football, it's a different story.
Why?
No, because he probably gets it. He's average dude.
Yeah, but on 4th and 1, you just expect it. I mean, they loaded the box.
That's true.
Then they saw the pass, and that's when they dropped back into coverage. So, no, I don't agree at all. You're up 7. You punt South Carolina wasn't driving at all. They had one good drive the whole game. You punt it back to them. More than likely, your defense stops them. You get the ball back. No,
Yeah.
you go for it. You miss it. They're on their 35. They have all the momentum.
Yep. That was it after that. I mean, and we just heartbreaking to end the game. It probably grazes him. I'm not going to say it doesn't. I couldn't tell. But in my opinion, you don't have enough evidence to show that it hit him. The call in the field was Auburn ball, didn't touch him. I didn't think there was enough evidence to prove that it hit him. Did it graze him? Maybe. We'll never know.
I don't think it matters.
It doesn't matter, but
for Brian,
we weren't going to go down there and score. We weren't going to go down there.
You should never be in that situation. You should never be down 7 having to go score a touchdown to tie against South Carolina, dude. It's embarrassing.
But I will say Gus and Bo lost him last year too. I know it was COVID, but
it was COVID, and I mean, I don't know. I think they were honestly a little bit better team last year than they are this year.
I don't really remember the team from last year. I think
Tennessee only beat them by like 3 last year. This year we put up 28 points in 10 minutes in the first quarter on them. It was like over before.
Did y'all beat South Carolina this year?
Yeah, we put 28 points up in 10 minutes in the first quarter. Like it was 28-0 before the first quarter ended.
Sickening. It's a sickening loss. We shouldn't have lost, but it is what it is. We'll see if we make adjustments in the off season. I think one coordinator's got to go. One coordinator's got to go.
Or the head.
I heard he's going to Washington.
That would be. I guess he can go. He can go 7-5 at Washington.
He said that he came out and said that he was not going to Washington, but then Washington released a statement saying their top 3 coaches, and Brian Harson's name was on there. Really, really interesting. I don't think he's leaving. I don't want to.
I would say do that, but this would be the worst time in the world for Auburn to then try to fire and then get another coach or have him leave, because USC, more than likely Miami, Florida, LSU, all kinds of LSU. There are all kinds of stout football. No, they're not. I'm not saying they're much more of a different football program than Auburn. I'm just saying there's not enough great coaches to go around with all those
Absolutely.
guys feasting on it. So
James Franklin's staying at Penn State.
yeah, you get rid of Mike Bobo for sure, though.
No question.
I mean, it's pitiful.
We haven't
I
scored.
was texting you during the game. I was like, y'all could run the ball all game and win this game.
Had scored in 6 quarters this year. We're up 28-3 at halftime against Mississippi State and lost to South Carolina, not scoring, have one of the worst red zone scoring offenses in the country. You got to go.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Next game, Arkansas, Alabama. Again, another game. You took Bama. I took Arkansas plus 21. I mean, I don't know what to say about Alabama. I mean, they can score in 0.5 seconds, and then they can just give up a touchdown in 0.5 seconds. I mean, their defense just isn't that good, man. I mean, and honestly, not that good. It's bad.
Arkansas didn't even move the ball like that on Auburn, and they're going out there and all Alabama had to do was make a couple stops. I mean, it's 3rd and 11, 3rd and 15, multiple drives, and they're getting it. They're scoring long drives, having long plays. Like, dude, it was crazy game.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of those games I said on there. I was just like, I still haven't seen anything from Alabama to play a mediocre to good team and cover the spread. Their spreads are always so inflated, 21, 28. They've been like that all year. And I don't think they've covered that many of them. Now they covered against New Mexico State and covered against Tennessee very, very late. But it's just like, I don't know, man. There's something there. Now the offense is there. They can score lights out, but there's something off with the defense that you don't really see with Nick Saban that often.
Yeah.
And then the last game for college football was Baylor. We both thought Baylor money line was the play there. We knew the TCU game. We thought the TCU game was kind of a fluke, overlooking to Oklahoma, and we thought the team against Oklahoma was actually the team that would show up, and they did, and they looked pretty. They looked good. I don't know how good Kansas State is really. They're never, like I said last time, they're never on air. You never really get to see them play, so not much there. Except we just thought Baylor was a solid team and they'd get it done.
Yep.
And then going to pro.
What a game! What a day!
Man, it was tough. Now we start out hot Thursday. We went with the Patriots minus 6.5. Easy bet. I mean, they've been playing so good lately.
And the under, I believe.
What?
Did I say the under as well or no?
I don't remember that, but the under hit. I mean, it was 25-0. So, but the Patriots solid. Defense looks good. Offense is doing just enough to get them by. Mac Jones isn't doing anything crazy, nothing like that. But he's scoring when he needs to, doing what he needs to do. Yeah. So that was pretty easy. The next one was Bills Colts. You had a hot take, basically saying the Colts were they're trash. They are. And I was like, no, I still believe in the Colts. I didn't think they were that great, and I agreed with you that Carson, they're only going to go so far as Carson takes them. But I said, hey, if they just ride JT, he can take them a long way.
He did.
And he's a beast, man. He can play.
What's crazy is now, he scores 5 touchdowns. Yeah. They're over here saying, oh, Jonathan Taylor for MVP. Why aren't y'all saying that for Derrick Henry? I know he's hurt, but like it's always, we're not going to talk about a running back. Oh, we're not going to talk about a running back for MVP because the quarterback's the most important spot on the field. But, one dude has one good game and it's like, oh, MVP.
It's not his first good game.
You know what I mean?
But this is the last couple of weeks they finally bought into the system.
Yeah.
Hey, Carson, we're not going to let you lose this game. All we need you to do is make a few throws.
Yeah.
We're going to run JT. We're going to throw it to JT. And if anything, they're going to load the box and you're going to have some easy play action throws. And that's what they've done lately. They've relied on the defense. And if I'm not going to overreact to the Titans game. We'll get to that later. I'm not going to overreact to the Titans game. That's what we do. That's why I picked the Texans plus 10. It's what we do. We play bad against bad teams, good against good teams. But the Titans, we're up 3 games still. We're up 2 games in record, but we have the tiebreaker. The Colts can still come back in this thing, man. They found their identity. Play defense, run Jonathan Taylor. Don't let Carson lose you the game, basically is what they're doing, and they can win like that. So we'll see what happens. But we both had Bills -6 in that game. We missed that mark. I mean, the Bills, I
Vegas.
don't know what the Bills are.
They score 6 points against Jaguars. And then I think they destroyed whoever they played last week, and then they go out and they fumble it again against the Colts. And I mean, they get blown out. I keep thinking their defense is good. 41-15.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
that good then.
Well, the Colts offensive line looked amazing too. I'm telling you, man, they're going to be creeping up at the very end, and they'll probably get a wild card spot. I'm confident in that. And to your point about JT in the MVP talks, I can agree with you. Also, you know, JT's yards per carry is very high. I mean, I think he has more yards than, obviously Derek hasn't played, but they have around the same carries at this moment, and JT has more yards. Also a product of Henry's line being abysmal. I'm sure if you looked at yards after contact, Henry blows JT out of the water.
Yeah.
But the reason why people last year really had a 2,000-yard year is because it is a quarterback award. And there were quarterbacks last year that were doing amazing. This year, the reason why they're in the talk, JT is in the talks, is because no quarterback is really doing that amazing this year.
It's true. Patty didn't throw a touchdown on Sunday.
What's that?
Patty didn't throw a touchdown on Sunday.
Yeah, no quarterback has, like, Dak has good games and he has terrible games. AR has been consistent and he's done AR things, but he's not the AR of old that's going to give you 350 and 4 tutties. Maybe a game here and there, but he's consistent, he's solid, and he's still really good, but he's not like MVP caliber.
I think he did that against the Vikings, 4 touchdowns and 300 yards.
Yeah, he did that. That's what I'm saying. Like, he had to, though. When he has to, he can.
Yeah, he has to.
Defense, regardless, this year has been playing good up until that game, so he hasn't needed to do that. I think that's why JT is in the conversation. But the next game, we both had Saints +1.5. Like I said, I wasn't comfortable betting Simeon. I mean, I just thought the Saints defense was a little bit better than they were, and they just got Jalen Hurts.
I'll tell you this. I heard a stat today. So I think it's the past 2 years, the Saints have had the best run defense, and only 4 players total have had over 100 yards rushing on them. 2 of them were last weekend. Jalen Hurts and Miles Sanders.
Man.
Isn't that nuts?
It is. And it might have been
I don't remember the other 2, but those 2 happened last weekend.
I didn't get to watch the game, but it might have been a product as well, especially in that first half. I know the offense came around in the second half, but the first half, I'm pretty sure they were going 3 and out, so they were probably exhausted.
Yeah.
I mean, that offense is totally different without Alvin Kamara. I mean, it is. And I thought he was going to play, so that's part of the reason I took him +1.5.
Yep.
But they got blown out. I don't think he wouldn't have won them the game. There's no doubt about that.
No.
But he would have made it closer like that. He changes that offense so much.
Also, too, my thing with the call. So at the very end of the game, I don't know what the final score was. They were down 2 touchdowns, or they had to score twice. I don't know what the score was. They go down there and kick a field goal in the red zone, and guess what? They're still down 2 scores. It just didn't make sense. I think they were down 14, went down to the red zone, kicked a field goal with like 2 minutes left. Now you're down 11. You still got to score twice.
I don't know.
That makes no sense.
I don't know, man. But maybe it's time to start, giving the Eagles some respect. I think they've played well the past few weeks. Jalen looks solid. They're finally getting Miles Sanders back in the game. They went away from him for the whole year. They hadn't really been giving him the ball. Maybe he's always off and on injured, so you never really know if he's going to play or not. But they look solid. Saints.
You figure it out. Figuring out that
offense. Simeon, but they look solid, man. And then the next game, let's see here, was Texans. I had them +10. You had the under, and then I said I would take the under. So I don't think you mentioned -10 last game. So I think you just took the under.
Yeah, I think that was it.
And easy play, smart play, under hit, and it was a monsoon. Again, like I said, I'm not going to write too much into that's what the Titans do. Now I am starting to get scared that we'll never, ever be healthy.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those years that we're going to have the injury bug the whole year. And I mean, at one point in the third and fourth quarter, Tannehill had his worst game as a Titan. I'll say that. Now, it wasn't coming on monsoon. in the third and fourth quarter, his second best or his best wide receiver out there was Westbrook Akeen.
Yeah.
And no one was getting separation. One, it's a monsoon, and two, they can't get separation.
Yeah.
And his second best receiver is Dez Fitzpatrick, who just picked him back up.
Yeah.
And
so this is my problem right now. So I'm a little worried with the Titans, but just hear me out. I think right now the time to win Super Bowl is now, right now this year, because I've been listening to 104.5 a lot. I didn't realize that everybody on the line, their contract runs up this year.
Well, they all stink.
Wait, I know they do.
Besides Saffold.
I like Ben Jones. I mean, he's old, but I'd keep him.
Saffold, Ben Jones, and Nate Davis are solid. Taylor Lewan's underperformed, and Quessenberry. But last year they were all great, but this year Saffold's underperformed. Nate Davis has been off and on injured and underperformed.
Yep.
I don't know.
Anyway, so we have the whole entire offensive line. All contracts are ended. We have to re-sign AJ Brown. We have to re-sign Harold Landry because he's balling this year. And I think there was one more player. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was a cornerback. It was a secondary guy. I don't know. We only have 30 million cap this year. How are we going to re-sign all these guys back that we do need?
That's with their current contracts, though. I mean, you don't just if they sign them with their current contracts, we have 30 million of cap left. That's what I'm assuming you're saying.
Potentially, it was 30 million cap.
Yeah, so we'd add in even if we add a few some millions on there, so we'd have some space. That's more than enough space.
We're going to be able to sign mostly everybody back, and just more so the important ones.
I don't think it's the only year. I mean, we're gonna get the people that we need to sign back.
Okay.
I mean, that's my take on it, and it's just, dude, it's hard when you're this. We have the most injuries in NFL history, and it's not up to this point. It's through the whole season, and we're not even. I mean, we're just 2/3 of the way.
Yeah, number 2 is only 60 players.
Crazy.
We're at 89, I think.
I mean, it's nuts. So it's a time to worry because we're so injured. I wouldn't be worried at all if we would have lost to the Texans and we still had all our people. That would have just been, that's the Titans. But now it's we literally can't get healthy.
And we have the Patriots this weekend. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what happens the rest of the year. I mean, we're going to make the playoffs. I firmly believe that. But we may be limping hard into the playoffs and just get put out first round. That one seed is hurt. The one seed is, you got to get it. You got to find ways to win games and get the 1 or 2 seed and get that first round bye. Oh wait, QC doesn't get the first round bye anymore. This is the 1 seed.
I think they are, though, with them waiving Adrian Peterson and keeping that. What was that running back this weekend that did really well?
I can't remember his name, but he looks solid.
Number 40, I think.
Number 40, yeah. And they just signed him. They just kept him on.
Yeah,
and we solid. Just picked up Golden Tate off the waivers. He probably ain't got much left, but
I didn't get that.
Yeah, he probably doesn't have much left, but we need all the help we can get in the receivers.
He went to JP2 actually in Nashville.
Yeah. Fulmer didn't recruit him, or did try to recruit him, but he didn't want him to be a quarterback, which is what he went to college for, is to be a quarterback. And so Golden Tate
Notre Dame.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was a receiver.
That's where he first went over there. He was going to be a quarterback, and so he ended up being no, I don't want to be a wide receiver to Fulmer, and of course he ends up being a wide receiver. But,
yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. Next game, let's see. Packers -2.5.
Packers had every chance in the world to win that game, and they just didn't do it. They didn't execute the little things. It is what it is. Vikings went down there and they squeaked by. It is what it is. They got a game-winning field goal. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I take AR
any day of the week.
Any day of the week.
Kirk didn't even play that great.
Like we've been saying, Kirk does that. He didn't have a great game, but he did enough to be able to win the game because the Packers defense just all of a sudden didn't think just all of a sudden just stopped playing defense.
They had 2 picks on the final drive. The first one dropped. The second one, the cornerback overran. He had it, overran it, and when he overran it, the wide receiver was just standing there and caught it and ran 70 yards. It is what it is.
Thielen. Yeah, I remember watching that play. But, it is what it is. I did have a quote from you said, you said AR can score in 22 seconds. Well, Sunday he scored in less than that when he threw it to MVS on that long 75-yard touchdown. It was just one play. It was like however long the play was. I mean, 10, 15, however long it took MVS to get down there. So I thought that was just pretty funny. He scored too quick. I mean, what do you do there? Slide and just my defense is playing bad. Hey, MVS slide at the 5 and we'll just run and clock all the way down and then score. Like, I don't know what you do there. Let's see. And then the last game was Cowboys. I had the over, which was nowhere close to happening. And then you said +2.5. You said stamp it. That was your stamp of the week. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I lost it. Dak just from the get-go, from throw one, Dak just didn't look right. He was overthrowing just a little bit. He was a little off. He was a little behind. It just felt like he couldn't get into a rhythm. I thought they ran the ball fine. The defense was fine as well. They didn't score enough, obviously. Night was 17-9, 19-9.
19-9. That was a first shootout.
Patrick Mahomes didn't even
first quarter. He looked really good. They looked like Chiefs of all. I was like, oh shoot, this may be a blowout. Yeah. And then they just kind of stalled out the rest of the game.
Yeah. Nothing. Whatever. They'll be fine. I'm sure.
It's one of those players, though. It's like each game you look at the score box. If they've already scored a touchdown or two in the first quarter, they're going to end up blowing them out because like you said, he's a rhythm player. But if you see in that score box how you do against the Chiefs or the Broncos, where he's missing passes here and there, he's not going to have a good rest of the game. So he's a big rhythm player. It's really weird. Usually great quarterbacks like that can find a way, throughout the game. But when he plays bad in that first quarter, he's generally going to play bad the whole rest of the game.
Now, I will say he didn't have much help. I think as a team total for the game, they had about 5 drops, counted drops.
I saw a couple from the Brown kid. I've never seen him, though.
85, he dropped all of them. He didn't have a good game. He did not have a good game.
Why are you playing him when you have the
CD went out?
Was Amari hurt? I didn't see
Amari's hurt. Okay. CD went out, and I think Gallup was in and out. I know Gallup's been on the IR, but I think they're just kind of being cautious with the wide receiver. So they were just playing some no names, and that guy didn't do too hot.
Yeah. And then briefly, I said my lock of not lock of the week, but I said if you wanted to win some money, bet Tennessee money line, and that was a joke. We came out and laid an egg versus Villanova. Wasn't even close. But you're going to have games like that in basketball. It wasn't like –
oh, that's right. Oh, dude, I picked Villanova, man. I said whatever the point spread is.
It wasn't like their defense was suffocating us. We just weren't hitting any shot. I mean, we were open everywhere. We just weren't hitting shots. You're going to have those games in basketball. And it was our first game against a big team or a really good team like that. They had already played UCLA.
Well, doesn't come back. Your best players out.
No, Kennedy he was sat the whole first half, and then he came back in the second half, so he was fine. And I mean, we played better in that second half, but we redeemed ourselves the next day. We beat the living crap out of North Carolina, who I know you said they're bad, but they still played really, really well against Purdue. Played hard and battled, but we trounced them from the beginning. You knew that was going to happen, though. Tennessee, you weren't hitting any shots one day. You're probably going to hit every shot the next day, and that's kind of what happened.
Yep.
But yeah, we can move into the picks for this week.
All right, game 1 for college football. We have Ole Miss and Mississippi State, and this is very surprising. Maybe not. Mississippi State's -1.5. They are the favorite. It's
at Mississippi State, right?
Yeah, Mississippi.
That's not surprising. I mean,
I guess especially they didn't play too hot last weekend against Vanderbilt.
But Ole Miss seems to do that against lesser teams this year. They've seemed to, kind of play down to them, Liberty, a few other teams. And Mississippi State's a good football team. But I'm always going to go with and I think by the end of his career, that Rodgers he's already really, really good, but he's going to be amazing by the end of his career. But right now I'm going Matt Corral.
Right. I'm going to go Mississippi State.
Okay.
At home. I think Matt's a little.
It's going to be a heck of an
checked out, man. It is. I think he's a little checked out. He's already entered the draft. Did he do okay against Vanderbilt? I'm sure he did.
I mean, they went up big, and then they just let the foot off.
Okay, yeah. Should probably get healthy for next week. I mean, I'm going to go Mississippi State -1.5 at home.
You're going Ole Miss +1 or +2.
+2.
I think it can be one of those games where it's 1 point, decides.
Yeah, I'll probably go. I tell you that I'll probably go Mississippi State money line. If it's 1.5, I mean, money line's probably 140. I'll take
Yeah.
that. 130.
Yeah.
I
That's
will
a
say
good
this.
game. I'm excited about that.
1 point does matter. I remember 2 Thanksgivings ago, before year before COVID, I believe. It was when the wide receiver did the pissing on the field
Yeah.
and ended up, I don't remember who won that game, but I bet it and I pushed, and whoever won by 1 point.
I think Ole Miss missed the field goal at the end of that game. I think Mississippi State won that game.
Yep, that's what it was, and I won by 1 point. So 1 point does matter. So I'm gonna go Mississippi State.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Next game we'll stay in the SEC. We'll go Vanderbilt, Tennessee. Tennessee minus 31.
That's such a big line. It's like they just barely lost, not barely, but they only lost to Ole Miss by 14. It's a big line, but you know what, man? It's going to be tough for Vandy to keep up with our offense against lesser teams.
Yeah.
Against the better defenses, they find a way to stop it, but against lesser teams, they just can't find a way to slow the balls down. I mean, it was South Alabama, sure, but we scored 60. We scored on them for touchdowns in our first 8 drives. It's just really hard once they get going. And our defense may give up some, but I'm thinking we score like 50 plus and we can end up covering that.
What surprises me with this game is that Vegas thinks that South Alabama has more of a chance than Vanderbilt.
South Alabama coming into it, they were actually like supposedly not good, but like good for
their starting quarterback was out and they had to play a backup that hadn't played all year.
No, he played the game before.
The backup?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
That dude had been hurt since the last game.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Regardless,
that is surprising though.
But they had South Alabama 28, now Vanderbilt 31.
That's pitiful.
Yeah, but I'm definitely going to go Tennessee. I don't think Vanderbilt stands a chance. This is a game that y'all absolutely hate each other. I mean, y'all can't stand. I mean, this is all y'all always are fighting. I definitely want to go Tennessee.
Always fighting.
Y'all are gonna
don't pay attention to them fools.
Y'all are gonna go up big. I just feel like I always hear about how much y'all hate Vandy fans and how much Vandy hates Tennessee fans. I mean,
Vandy doesn't have any fans.
I know Tennessee doesn't win. I mean, or wins all the time, but I feel like you still hear Vanderbilt fans. They're like, fuck, screw Tennessee.
Oh, Vanderbilt fans can't stand Tennessee. I don't really have a problem with Vanderbilt. It's not like my hate for Georgia or Bama or Florida or anything like that. No, Vandy fans hate Tennessee. They hate Tennessee the most out of any other team, and I would say Vandy's like 6th or 7th on my list of hates. Like I don't,
little brother. But yeah, I'll go Tennessee minus 31. Next game we'll go my guys. Alabama minus 19.5 in the Iron Bowl versus Auburn at Jordan Hare. What are you thinking?
You go first. I want to hear it.
I think if Bo, and I hate that I'm saying this, I think if Bo Nix is playing, we have a chance to win that game. Win. I do. I think this is the most.
Who did Bo just lose to?
I know. I think this is the most beatable.
Hold on. Do you know how bad Mississippi State?
Cover. I'm sorry, cover.
Okay, I was about to say, you know how bad Mississippi State.
I'm sorry. Cover. I messed that one up. With TJ and the way that our offense has been playing this year, we just don't have an offense. I really would. I would be lucky to see us score on Saturday. I think they absolutely blow us out. We don't have an offense at all. If we score, it's going to be we ran the whole entire drive. I don't think we can move the ball. I know Alabama's defense is not good, but our offense is worse. I think we have to have probably the 12th ranked offense in the SEC. It's absolutely brutal. I think Alabama blows us out. What?
There's 14 teams now.
What did I say? 12?
Mm-hmm.
No, I said we're the 12th worst.
Oh, 12 out of 14.
Yeah, like we're.
I thought you were trying to say y'all are dead last.
No.
Like Vanderbilt, come on.
No, like we got Vanderbilt. Shit, I want to say where we have better offense in South Carolina, but I guess not with us losing last weekend. So maybe the 13th. I mean, shit. Well, yeah, probably 13th. Regardless, I think the Alabama blows us out. I think they cover 19 easily.
Yeah. I think it depends on Mike Bobo. I mean, I think you'll be able to run the ball in Bama. Their defense hasn't looked very good, but again, I just can't trust Mike Bobo and Auburn right now. It's in Jordan Hare, so that,
There's always a chance
no, there's not a chance in hell
to
but
cover.
yeah, no, to cover that gives them the chance to cover. But I think Alabama does it this week. I think they have too much, and I haven't bet Alabama really all year to cover, but I think they'll cover this one.
They should.
Yeah.
Last SEC game, we got A&M, Texas A&M, and LSU. A&M is -6.5 and is in Baton Rouge.
Night game.
I would assume, yeah, because there's no way it's 11 o'clock. Auburn's 2:30. Vanderbilt, Tennessee's probably 6. A&M, LSU's got to be 6:30.
Gotcha.
No, well, yeah, because Ole Miss, Mississippi State's on Thursday. So,
yeah, I think this game it's going to be a battle for a minute. I don't ever think it gets to a blowout proportion, but A&M's defense is going to cause a lot of problems for LSU's quarterback. Their defense is really good. Now, are they going to score that much? No, LSU's defense has been really good lately, and it's in Baton Rouge. I think it's about a 10-point win for A&M. I think they cover.
I'm looking up the under for that game because there's no way they score a lot of points. Both defenses have been clicking and they've been dogs. Let me find that real quick. Yeah, Auburn's got the 2:30, and then Vanderbilt, Tennessee. You know what time that game is?
It's like 3:45.
2:45. Damn it! I said 6:30 earlier. 6. You didn't correct me.
6. I thought you meant to start this.
A&M LSU is 6.
Yeah, I think A&M wins by 10, but I also they could very well. I mean, LSU could pull off the upset. They can do it with how good their defense has been playing. I just don't think their offense is going to have enough against A&M's defense. I really
Over under's 45.5.
What are you thinking?
I like A&M -6.5, and I like the over. I don't think LSU can stop the run game, and A&M's got two really good running backs. I know it's a night game, and I know it's at LSU, but Auburn came into Baton Rouge and beat LSU. I think LSU.
They were playing well though, and they battled. I mean, they were up 16-3 in that game or something.
And I think LSU's offense has kind of found an identity, and they're starting to score more, and I think they're starting to click a little bit better. I like the over, but I like A&M to beat them by more than 7. Was that 2 years ago, the 7 overtime game? That was a crazy ass game.
Yeah.
We're going to do it. Are you ready? We're going to go to the Big Ten. Here we go. Ohio State, Michigan at the Big House. Ohio State is -8.5. You me go first? Or you want to go first?
You got it. Your Wolves, man. Come on.
Lock of the week. Michigan, money line. Stamp it. I have been on Michigan all year since week 1. This is the best Michigan team they've ever had. It's
ever had, even better than their national championship.
I'm sorry. Okay, with that Jim Harbaugh's ever had. Man, I really like Michigan. I really do. I think they're the best team in the Big Ten, no question. I think they're going to make it to the playoffs. I'm sure they won't do much in the playoffs, but they will be the team to make it out of the Big Ten. I really like Michigan. I really do. Michigan money line, and I guess I'll take Michigan +9. I'll buy the half point. I don't like the 8.5, but I'll buy Michigan +9 and Michigan money line. I really think they get it done this year. It's gonna be the first time they've beaten them in what? I don't know how long, but I think this is the year. Also,
look silly.
Hold on. I got one more statement, and then I'll let you have it. John Gabriel, my girlfriend's dad, the last time Ohio, I don't know if it was the last time, but the last time that he went to the big house, Ohio State lost to Michigan. And guess what? He's going back this year. Stamp it. 0-2 in the big house. Go Wolves.
Yeah, the big house is, you've read the stories, big, a lot of people, not loud. You know why? Because the bowl is like this and the sound goes straight up and it just loses. There doesn't go straight up. It's loud, but it's not as loud as it should be with being 110K capacity. The sound gets lost because of the seats going straight out instead of up. The sound gets lost. That's not, I mean, even if it was super, super, super loud and deafening, Ohio State. I mean, I think you're going to look silly. Ohio State by 14 plus. I don't believe in Harbaugh. I never will. They're just going to score too much, man. Michigan's offense is not good enough to hang in there. It's just not. You know, they're going to be able to run the football. I think they're going to be able to get the ball down the field, but they're not going to be able to score every drive. And this Ohio State team can just score with the best of them. Now, I will be rooting for Michigan. Trust me. I will be rooting for it. And if Stroud comes out in that first quarter and looks iffy, and the more confident that Michigan team gets, and the more confident the crowd gets, then you could see something happen. But if he comes out first drive and it's right on the field touchdown, it's over. It's not going to be close.
Probably after this episode, and if he ends up listening to this, I'm sure he's not going to be too happy with my prediction. So if I'm an Ohio State shirt next weekend or next week for next episode, y'all understand I lost that one. So, and I'll probably look pretty stupid, but
yeah, I'll still take the half point. Ohio State -8.
Next game we have Penn State and Michigan State. This is a pick 'em. It's at Michigan State. Penn State is -1 though. How you feel?
I don't think Penn State's very good. Also, obviously, Michigan State just got exposed. But Michigan State's got a run game. It's at Michigan State. They're still a solid team. I just think Ohio State is overwhelmingly good on offense with how bad their defense is. I just can't. When I watch Penn State, I don't know. They don't impress me at all. I'm going Michigan State in this game at home.
I think Michigan State's the most overrated team in the Big Ten. I don't like them. I like Penn State. I think their D-line is going to stop Kenneth Walker. I think they're going to stop the run game as a whole. I like Sean Clifford. I do. I really do. I think he's a pretty good quarterback. Give me Penn State over Michigan State.
The team who lost to Illinois at home.
Is what it is. I will say, yeah, they did.
What I'm always so confused about it is you don't believe in Michigan State at all, but you have all this faith in Michigan, and they literally beat Michigan.
It doesn't matter. If they play again, Michigan blows them out. Michigan should have won that game. Harbaugh made 2 bad.
I wonder. Yeah, Harbaugh stinks.
But guess what? It ain't happening again. I ain't doing it again.
They're going to get blown out, dude.
Wolves all day.
When we bring this text message up, said, I'm probably going to go Ohio State -8. I may expose you.
Realistically, I'm not going to bet it. I'm not betting this weekend. But
I'm all in on Ohio State. But I'm going to be going for Michigan.
Michigan, baby. The Wolves.
All right, let's move on. I got Michigan State, Penn State. They both stink, really.
They both are bad, but I'm going to think. I think Penn State's going to pull it out. And then we'll go out of the 2 main conferences, and we'll go to Oklahoma State and Oklahoma. I've heard a little talk about Oklahoma State, if they beat Oklahoma this weekend, for them to be talked a little bit in the playoff committee. Don't think that's going to happen. Oklahoma State's a -4. It's at Oklahoma. Give me Oklahoma, man. I don't even want to talk about Oklahoma State, to be honest with you. I haven't heard anything about them. Have they lost? Are they undefeated? I have no idea.
They have 1 loss.
They have 1 loss. Yeah, I ain't worried about them.
Oklahoma State, book it. That defense is stout.
Are they? I haven't watched one game.
Defense can play. That defense can come to play. They've played well all year. Do I have a ton of faith in Oklahoma State? No, but they got a good defense, and they're going to cause problems to Caleb Williams or Spencer Rattler, whoever it is, because I don't know what's wrong with either quarterback. Sometimes they look good, sometimes they look really bad. Um, I mean, I got Oklahoma State. I think but I may buy the whole point and go 3. I'm not confident in them blowing out or anything, but I do think their defense is good enough to win this football game.
Okay. All right. We're gonna move on to the NFL. Day 1, we got the Raiders and the Cowboys. Cowboys are -7.5, and it's in Dallas. I'm gonna buy the half point, and guess what? I'm gonna continue riding my boys. I'm gonna go boys -7. I think, like I've said, man, I just think the Raiders got too much going on right now. I think losing Ruggs was a bigger deal, and losing obviously their head coach younger, and I think that was a bigger deal. I feel like no one really talks about it much anymore, but I think that it kind of impacted their season. I think their season's kind of done. I like Cowboys to blow them out.
Yeah, in Dallas, bounce back game. I think Dak looks really good this game. The Raiders can still score sometimes. I don't know. They looked so good when they had their head coach there, when Ruggs was there. They were having a solid start to the season, and then it all just fell apart.
Yeah.
I think Dallas bounces back. I'd buy the half point too, -7 Dallas pretty easily, in my opinion.
We're gonna go Bills and Saints. It's in New Orleans, and it is Bills -6. What are you thinking?
Who are either of these teams? I don't know. You don't know. I don't think anybody knows. We don't know who the Bills are. We don't know who the Saints are. Each week is a different story with either team. Oh, this is tough. Is AK? Do we know if AK is going to be back?
I have no idea. I
mean,
know he's been out with a knee.
Yeah, the Saints it's a tough place to play. It really is. And I'm probably going to eat my words for this. But I think in a bounce back game, the Bills win this game, even in New Orleans. I can't bet on Trevor Siemian, dude. I just don't trust him. If they don't have AK, I think the Bills do it. Even if they do, I still may take the Bills -6. I don't know. I just feel like the Bills are just the better team, in my opinion. But a touchdown's pretty big. 6 points is pretty big.
I agree. I think the Bills are going to come out and blow them out. I think they're going to get it together. I mean, as they should. 15 points against the Colts. I think it's going to be. I think it's a statement game now. They got to start winning a little bit. I like the Bills -6. It's going to be a tough one. Next game, Titans and Patriots. Patriots are -6.5. I've been on the Patriots all year. They continue to win and continue to cover. Titans are banged up. Obviously, we talked about offense. It's just they haven't figured out their offense without Derek. I don't like to bet Titans games, but if I had to bet them, I'm going to go Patriots -6.5. I think Patriots beat us by a touchdown. I say that, and we'll go out there, and we always play up to our competition, and we lose to the Jets, we lose to the Texans, but we play up to our competition, and maybe our defense keeps us in the game, and Tannehill comes out and has a great game, which 100% could happen. But right now, at this second, if I had to pick based off last week, I mean, I'm going to take the Patriots.
Gotcha. Yeah, I've been around the Patriots as well. I mean, they look really, really good right now. They look awesome, but it is the Titans, and we play, even though we're so injured and we may be running out third stringers out there next week, I think we find a way to cover. I really do. I think Vrabel has them ready and focused for the game. I think they cover. Do I think win? I don't think we win, but I do think we cover and we can win this game. I mean, we came out against the Rams. Everybody thought we were going to get throttled because it was first game Derek was out. We come out and just beat the crap out of them. Now the Rams did look bad again the next week, but 7 points is a lot to go against the Titans. They lost by 9 to Houston, but they had 450 yards of total offense. They had 190 or something. Like, we dominated the game. We just get inside the 50, stall out, or throw a pick, which Tannehill could do that again. The Patriots have looked stout. I mean, they Matt Ryan threw 4 picks with them, but I'm going to go with the Titans +7.
Titans +7. Okay.
That's not even an emotional. That's not an emotional pick. I just really do believe they'll cover.
Yeah. This is a tough one. I feel like Bucks and Colts, Buccaneers and the Colts in Indianapolis. Buccaneers are -3. I just say I don't ever bet against Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. I think he kind of got his swag back after last weekend. I don't think
they played the Giants, dude.
that
Everybody swag against
correct.
the Giants.
I like the. I mean, it's only 3 points. I think if I think Buccaneers are going to win. I would go money line, but just a field goal. You know, if they push, they push. The Colts are nice right now, but I don't trust Wentz. I'm going to go Tom Brady because it's Tom Brady. So Bucks -3.
I mean, in Indianapolis, I mean, it can be a tough place to play. I don't know if they're still packing out the stadium. They weren't earlier this year. Maybe they are back now since they've been winning. JT is just phenomenal right now. Carson's doing what he needs to do to win football games. But if you're seriously, I do believe in the Colts, and I wouldn't be surprised if they covered in this game. But Carson Wentz versus Tom Brady I think the Bucks have the better roster. I think Bucks still have one of the best rosters in the league, if not the best roster in the league, combined with their wide receivers, their defense, who has struggled at times, but maybe they find it today. I got to go Tom Brady versus Carson Wentz, especially only 3 points. If it was like 6, I'd go Colts +6. The Colts
Gronkowski's
really
back.
I would seriously not be surprised if the Colts finished off the upset and won this game. I do believe the Colts are a really good football team this year, but I'm going with Tom Brady -3.
Gronkowski's back this weekend as well. I think it's going to be a big deal in the red zone.
Yeah.
Final game, big rivalry. Golly, it was tough to say. Steelers and Bengals, man. Big game. Bengals are -4.5. It's in Cincinnati. How you feeling?
God, the Bengals are one of those teams. One week they look great, the next week they look bad. Up, down, up, down. The Steelers, they don't ever really look very solid. I mean, their defense will always be pretty solid. I just don't, man, Roethlisberger, there's something about him this year I just don't believe in. He's old, man. He's had too many injuries in his career, but he still has those games where he looks not like old Roth. He'll never look like old Roethlisberger, but that he's solid and good decision making. It's where at?
In Cincinnati.
I'm going to go Cincinnati -4. I don't really believe in the Steelers because I don't know how healthy and how healthy Ben Roethlisberger is. And it looks like he kind of has a noodle arm now. I don't know. He just doesn't, he's not the same as he once was. He's not even a shell of himself, in my opinion. The defense can let him hang in there though. But I got Bengals.
I think Juju's been out. I know Claypool's been out. I got him on fantasy. I mean, I like Joe Burrow, man. I like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase's chemistry. I like the Bengals -4 as well, especially in Cincinnati. Cincinnati fans, I know a couple. They have a little hope with this team. They're like, oh my gosh, we're back. I think they are. Their offensive line's pretty good. They've been protecting Joe a little bit better this year. Got good wide receivers. Has a pretty solid defense this year. I think they're overall way better than the Steelers. So I like the Bengals -4.5. I'll leave it at the half point. I think they beat them by a touchdown or more.
Gotcha. Yeah. I mean, I feel like I picked a lot of favorites.
We went against each other a little bit this episode.
Yeah, we did. But I feel like I picked a lot of favorites, but I felt like I had to. I didn't feel like I was comfortable enough picking some of the dogs this week that I usually am. I usually am almost all in on a lot of dogs and everything. But this week I just don't really see it. I mean, things could happen. The NFL is so weird this year, man. Teams are losing left and right that I would never thought would lose. I don't know. It's just a weird year.
It is for all football, college football.
Also, for the viewers, I mean, we're gonna get bigger into basketball too once we start veering over. Just because we haven't yet, because there's so much football going on right now. We're about to veer into the playoffs and stuff like that. It's just an exciting point, but we are gonna end up moving in more into NCAA and NBA, voicing them on here. Now, I bet NCAA basketball practically every single day. I'm pretty addicted to it. I love betting in NCAA basketball, especially with teasers.
I like the +20 games right now. Like I'm big on Gonzaga -20.5 versus Bellamai or whoever they played win by 52. I'm on that.
See, I go down to like I go the opposite way. I go down to like the -1 through -7.
Yeah.
And if it's like LSU per se against Belmont -7,
yeah,
I'll do a teaser with another team and that'll go all the way down to like -1 or 2, which wouldn't need the point. But just in case they were to have a bad game, I still know they're going to pull it out in the end. Those are the type of games I've been betting, and man, I've been pretty successful in college basketball so far. I love betting; it's pretty fun. And there's college basketball, and NBA basketball games on every day.
Every day.
Big Hornets guy right here.
You've been betting on the Horns for a minute.
They cover.
They do.
They cover. They seem to cover every time that I've bet them, whether it's in a teaser or straight up. But they've been covering lately. But yeah,
you're glowing on me a little bit.
Let's go. And see, when I said the Hornets, they're like, yeah.
Oh, light turned on or something. You better bet them tonight.
Oh, there it goes. Now it went off. But I mean, yeah, I mean, it's been an up and down year. College football and college basketball for me lately, though, has been the thing holding me up. I've been struggling in the NFL lately, but
yeah.
But yeah, but we'll definitely start. Especially, we're definitely going to have me and you friendly wager December 18th.
Yes,
we're going to do something for the Memphis-Tennessee game.
Yep.
We have a lot of big games before then. I'm sure y'all do too. So who knows how the rankings are going to shape out and what the line and the spread's going to be. But I would assume it's going to be somewhere around to pick them, in my opinion.
It should be
by game time. In Bridgestone, Tennessee fans, there will be majority Tennessee fans there, but Memphis basketball does have a lot of fans as well. So hopefully you guys travel a little bit down over to Nashville.
I will be at that game. So, well, actually I won't. I move in that day, so I'm not going to be able to go, I don't think, but I may end up trying to go. It's a big game.
It is. It's a big game. I'm glad Rick Barnes and Penny have, because we used to play almost every year, and then I think Pastner was the guy who was like, no, we're not playing Tennessee anymore.
Yeah, we stopped.
And then I'm glad they've got the little rivalry back going, because it's always a fun game. Vivid memories
because we're good again. Josh Pastner was awful.
He's not okay at Georgia Tech,
Yeah, Georgia Tech.
I think he's a better in-game coach than Penny. Penny can't coach in-game. He can recruit, and he just lets them boys play. Penny cannot coach in-game. You know that.
He just stands there and does this.
Yeah. He lets them play, which is fine because he has all the talent. But, I mean, when they need him to coach, he still doesn't really –
just stands there and looks.
I mean, that's what he was used to.
We have good assistants, and we picked up –
He does have good assistants.
Larry Brown this year. There was one more guy, and I can picture him, but he played with the Pistons with Ben Wallace. What was his name? The other big guy.
Richard Hamilton?
No, the other big guy.
Wasn't it the Wallace brothers playing?
Was it Wallace?
Rasheed Wallace?
Rasheed Wallace. That's who we picked up. We have him and Larry Brown. We picked him up this year.
Nice. No, y'all got to – I mean, it's Penny Hardaway. Like, he's going to attract talent, and he's going to attract people that want to, coach with him. Yep. So, no, it'll be a solid game. But we both have big games before that, so we'll see how everything shakes out.
Yep, and we'll be talking about those, the big games as well.
Yeah, for sure. But sweet.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for listening. This is episode 4. Tune in next week.
Let's get it.